Hello, viewers, and welcome to our team video for field marketing. I am Steph Sarf. I am a recruiter here at GitLab, and I support hiring for our fabulous field marketing team. I'm based in Portland, Oregon, and I'll be moderating a Q&A to get to know this team a bit more. So let's start off with some introductions. Leslie, do you want to kick us off?
Thanks, Steph. So I am Leslie Blanchard. I'm based in beautiful Raleigh, North Carolina, and I'm excited the sun is shining today. And I am responsible for worldwide field marketing.
Thanks, Leslie. Hi, I'm Ken Grabowski. I am based in upstate South Carolina on Lake Hartwell in the foothills of the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains, not too far from Clemson University. Go Tigers. And I lead the field marketing team for the Americas.
Thanks, Ken. I'm Peter Quinn. I'm based in Sydney, Australia, down under, and I manage field marketing for the Asia Pacific region.
Hi, I'm Jenny. I am based out of Long Island, New York, if you can't hear the accent, and I am the Senior Field Marketing Manager supporting the East and Latin America sales teams.
Perfect. I am excited to connect with everyone today and get your answers to some of these questions. So at a high level, just to kick us off, Leslie, tell me a little bit about what it is that your team does.
Yeah, so our field marketing team is really charged with helping to build the sales pipeline for both our large and our mid-market sales teams. So we work really closely with sellers in both segments, as well as their solution architects and our sales development reps. So we'll do anything from sponsoring third-party events, both in person and of course virtual. As we're filming this, we're in the middle of the COVID pandemic. So everything we've done from a field marketing standpoint in person has flipped to virtual. And really, you know, we target the different personas that GitLab sells into. So we also have sales acceleration plays, so which are hands-on workshops. We'll run things like regional intelligence surveys, so where we can really help our sales teams gather intelligence on what accounts we think might have a higher propensity to buy from GitLab. And we've also recently started running what GitLab calls account-centric micro campaigns. So this is where we really go in and hyper focus on a list of mutually agreed upon accounts between our sellers and field marketing, and we're driving these accounts to virtually engage with us. And that's been really, really fun and exciting to see our field marketers and our sales teams and SDRs work really closely together on that campaign. So I would say if you're watching this video, then I really strongly encourage you to check out our field marketing handbook page. There's a ton of awesome information. So if you're liking what you hear in this video, check out our webpage, our handbook page, where we've got a whole bunch of more information, and you can really get into the details of understanding how we work in field marketing before actually talking to any of us.
Love it. I can link that in the video too, so you'll
Awesome.
be able to see that as we're talking about this. But I guess the next question to get into is just, why did you personally choose to join GitLab? And so Pete, I'd love to start with you.
Thanks. Yeah, so I joined GitLab because of the growth it was experiencing and the uniqueness of the company. I really believed in the product vision and the benefits of a single application. And being the first field marketing hire in the region was a really exciting prospect for me. I wanted to contribute to the success of GitLab, and I just wanted to be part of something special.
Love it.
Yeah, that's awesome, Pete. I could listen to Pete all day long. So I had a unique experience with how I joined GitLab. So originally, GitLab was recommended to me by previous colleagues, and it was highly recommended. And oddly enough, what happened was I was introduced to Leslie when there really was no role. And we just started chatting about field marketing about a year before I ever joined. And we stayed connected, and she came and she met me in New York when she was in, and we had another conversation. And it started to sound like the place that I wanted to be. But what ultimately sold me on GitLab was as I was interviewing with GitLab, I was also interviewing with other companies. And although the other companies were beautiful, great companies, I was starting to hear my career sort of lay flat. I wasn't getting excited. And that was extremely different during my interviews with GitLab. So I started to have like an emotional response to how field marketing could once again be exciting for me and enhance my experience in a role that I had been doing for about 10 years. And that's how I ended up here.
Cool, Jenny. That's, I had a very similar experience. I was seeking a role with a progressive, forward-thinking, and fast-growing company that really mirrored my values. I've worked for several companies over the course of my career that really preach work-life balance, collaboration, transparency. And during the interview process, like Jenny, I grew more and more excited about GitLab as it became clear to me GitLab truly lives and works by these values and strongly encourages all team members to live and work by them as well. From my very first conversation with Steph, which was totally awesome, to my final interview with Leslie, which was equally as totally awesome, I knew GitLab was where I needed to be.
I love it. All that warms my heart so much. So, if someone's interested in a role on this team, what would you want them to know? Leslie, I'd love to start with you.
Yeah. So we'll say we do things a little bit differently here at GitLab. Before I joined GitLab, I had no idea what writing in Markdown was. I write in Markdown on a daily basis. And we use our product day in and day out to manage our work. We use GitLab issues where we're writing in Markdown. There's a preview button so you can like check your Markdown before you hit submit. So we've got these issue templates at field marketing. Our field marketers are in and they're planning their work, they're tracking their work, they're collaborating with other folks within the organization right in these issues. I mean, I don't even use my email. It's only when I'm interacting with other vendors, outside vendors. Otherwise, I'm always in GitLab. We also work in Salesforce.com and in our ROI tool called SciSense. We're building out some super cool dashboards there. Also our field marketing team has recently taken on building Marketo and Salesforce.com campaigns. So if you are into the, working with sales to help them build pipeline, while also kind of being your own CMO of your region in terms of building operationally, setting up your campaigns, then I would say GitLab is the place for you.
Cool.
How about you, Jenny? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, Leslie, because it's so interesting that we work inside of our product, right? I had no experience with issues. Even the word was foreign to me. And so it was a lot of fun getting to see my transition throughout that whole process. So I think what I would tell somebody, and what I have, because I've recommended people here before and they are happily working here now, is that they have to get used to, which is an environment of trust. So we have this workplace where we can go in and we can suggest things and we can use our creativity and everything is welcome. So there's really nothing crazy that we could come up with. It's always a discussion. We partner great with our team members, our greater global team members. It's an unusual environment because you're not so used to, I think from coming from much larger organizations, you're not used to feeling like that. You're not feeling that support is a constant here. So you're never really alone in what you're doing. And I think that that's really where I start, because most people have challenges where they are, and I want them to feel like when they come here, they're not going to be left alone. So.
Oh. Love it all. And so to get into the next one, would love to hear, and I feel like we've kind of been going into this, but just how GitLab is different than other places that you have personally worked. Pete, do you want to kick that one off?
Yeah, sure. So GitLab is like no other place I've worked before. It's made up of extremely talented, passionate, and motivated people who live our values every day. There's a strong sense of team culture, and that sounds funny because we don't physically sit next to a colleague. I remember my first week I slacked a question to my manager, Leslie, and it was in the middle of the night for her. I had a response from somebody in Europe in a totally different team respond to me and help me. So there was a real sense of support. And like what I like to say is that I sometimes feel alone, but we're alone together. And at GitLab, we really are all in it together.
Yeah, we really are. It comes out of the GitLab culture. So culture and values are words that are being thrown around a lot, especially when you're interviewing with companies. Those words are the draw to why you would want to work for a company. Unfortunately, for most companies out there, they fall short once you actually join the company. They forget what those values and cultures were that they were promising during the interview process. GitLab is so the extreme opposite to that. They are so true to their culture, to the employees, to the customers, really anyone who interacts with us gets to experience what that true culture and values really is. And for me, and I guess for most remote employees, it's so important that you feel like you're part of a bigger picture, that you're actually making a difference for the company that you work for. And that's not always easy remotely, right? But GitLab knows no other way. So that's what we do. So they are fantastic at bringing together teams from people from all over the world who collaborate, work, and create great things together. So global is much smaller place here at GitLab.
Yep. So true. Last question. I would just love to hear, when we are hiring for a role, because I imagine that a lot of people watching this video are interested in potentially working at GitLab. So hello to you. But when hiring for a role, what is important to you? Ken, I'd love to hear your response to this.
Wow, Steph, great question, because building upon what Jenny just said, and I mean, Jenny, you nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely for me, values is at the top of the list. It's why I joined this company, and it's what I look for in potential members of the team. Teamwork and collaboration are paramount to any team being successful. And it's important to me that folks on my team truly enjoy working together and are willing to be and excited to help each other be successful. You know, a lack of experience in a specific area isn't always an obstacle. If someone's willing to learn and open to being mentored, as long as it's a good fit for a team, it's a recipe for success. That's why when I'm interviewing candidates for my team, I always include everyone in the process. And by everyone, I don't mean just potential coworkers on our team, but their potential peers in other parts of the organization they might be collaborating with or working on a special project with, and most definitely their key stakeholders in the region or segment they support. But it's really all about values and fit and definitely pace. And I could go on with that forever, but everyone is extremely passionate on our team and truly love working together. And that makes the day go by so fast and so quickly.
Yeah, and I'll second, what Ken said, and really, Pete and Jenny as well on the values front and the team front. And it's really important to me that we've got a team in place who enjoys working together, who enjoys working with sales, and who likes a challenge, and also who thinks about the customer. So, we'd love to have you apply if you think that you fit in the category of kind of, or if what we've talked about excites you.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh my gosh, this has been such a pleasure. Thank you all so much for just sharing your experiences with our audience and who's watching right now. Thank you all for watching. Like I mentioned, very much appreciate your interest in GitLab and the field marketing team. And so feel free to connect with us. Introduce yourself to us on LinkedIn. You heard how Jenny ultimately landed her role. And so please join our talent community. That is the first step to getting hired at GitLab. And so thank you all so much. I appreciate your time and look forward to bringing you some awesome people on your team. So see ya.